Hey everybody, so today we're going to talk about the whole concept that people tend to approach marriage from, which is marriage will make me happy. Like how many of us have approached relationships from the point of view that if we just had this, or we had this other person, we had this other situation, we'd be happy, we would be fulfilled. How many times, so I've seen probably hundreds, if not more, maybe even thousands of people, young women who thought, oh, living in my home sucks, but if I could just get married and find the man of my dreams, then I would be happy. If I just found a rich husband, how many women think, if I just found a rich husband to provide for me and rescue me and save me and he'd make my life all better and then I would be happy? Or how many men thought, if I just got married or was in relationship, I could have sex whenever I want, or there would just be this fulfillment and this joy, this happiness, if I just had this relationship. And the truth is, yeah, it'll probably bring some of that in the beginning. There's certain stages in relationships. The first one is where we awaken to the greatness in each other. We walk in a room and we see the beauty in a person. We see their essence, we see their heart, we see their soul, we see what's powerful and what's beautiful and attractive about that person. And so we're drawn to that person. What we don't know is behind the scenes, we are automatically drawn to the person who will most expose our unhealed shit, our unresolved stuff from our childhood and the developmental years of our psyche. And so we walk into a room and rather than, oh, I'm going to find the one, that's what we think consciously is, I'm going to find the one and live happily ever after. But the truth is we find the one that will most perfectly challenge us and expose to us all of our weaknesses, all of our insecurities, all of our doubts, all of our fears, all of our dark places. It's the person we will have the tendency to attract a mate that most resembles the parent that we are most unhealed with or most unresolved with. So this whole relationship thing is, we've been sold, meet the one and live happily ever after. We'll be happy, we'll be fulfilled, we'll be complete. So the point of today's message is to remember, it won't make you happy. Now, if you do that, now there's these stages in relationships. Stage one, we see that greatness that I mentioned. Stage two is we start to see all the crap in each other that we don't really like. The stuff, basically it's a mirror, so that other relationship starts to show us all the stuff that we don't love about ourselves. But we see it in the other person, and if we're unaware, then we'll be pointing the finger and blaming them. It's your fault, it's your fault. I was happy until you, and now you're doing this, and now I'm unhappy. And so on the surface that feels and seems true, but what's really true is that that person is bringing up the unhealed shit. So if you don't face that, you're going to keep butting heads and repeating patterns and struggling with each other, and then it'll typically end in a separation or divorce or parting of ways during that phase. But if you can make it past that and implement some new skills, learn how to communicate, learn how to listen, learn how to be empathetic, learn how to stop repeating the patterns that were modeled to you in relationships. The truth is, most of our parents and most people are in unhealthy relationships, so the far majority of what's been modeled to us around relationships is actually unhealthy. So if a person takes the time and energy to learn how to relate in a way that works, then they can move into the later stages of relationships that allow that person to enjoy and be happy and all of those things. But the truth is, all of that was just a process to help that person transform the way they relate with themselves. There was a guy that a lot of people tend to talk about. His name was Jesus. And he said, love your neighbor as yourself. Well, if I don't love myself much at all, then how much will I love my neighbor? So a key there is to learn to not only love my neighbor, but to learn to love myself more fully and to utilize my neighbor, especially my spouse or a close relationship that triggers all my deepest stuff, to show me what's unloved so that I can bring love to that place, so that I can raise my capacity to love myself and others and ultimately fulfill that commandment or that teaching that says love your neighbors yourself, which transforms our entire world, transforms business and relationships and sex and everything else that you want to create. So at the end of the day, please don't keep repeating the same stuff, expecting different results. Learn some new ways of being, learn some new ways of relating. Realize there are phases to relationship. There will be a rocky period, and if you don't learn how to do things different and you don't learn how to heal that undone stuff, then you're just going to keep bashing your head against the wall and wondering why it's not working. So that's it for today. I hope you find this helpful. Relationships, as usual and always, are an inside job. Handle this, go within, or you'll go without. Go within so you don't have to go without. Create an amazing rest of your day.